Welcome everyone to an exciting episode of Two Bar Connection with your host Jesse and
James. What's going on, everybody?
what's going on indeed. So for today's episode, we have Xbox is once again on fire as the bloodbath has begun with massive layoffs across multiple studios, culminating in about 3,200 jobs being lost over the span of the next financial year. We also have Sony trying to kill physical media as they have announced that they will be ending physical production of CDs beginning in 2028. And we also have a very recent update with Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, the remake for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag releasing. And of course, what wouldn't be an industry story without it? There being layoffs for Ubisoft Barcelona, who are now going on strike in protest of being laid off, even though they worked really hard to release this game. And then we also have interesting story here about Chinese courts reportedly giving some digital rights to Chinese people. At least that's according to a Reddit user that goes by the name SlawRFP. But before we get into all that, how have you been?
Honestly, dude, not much has changed since we last recorded. However, one thing is different. I am actually about to finish Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Ooh.
I'm just telling you, I guess I'm finally going to finish one of the games in my backlog. And that's because I got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 on sale. I got the Royal Edition, which means a base game with all the DLC included and the expansion pass. So if they choose to release anything in the future, I'll be owning that as well. And I got it for like $30, and I was like, yeah, I have to, because I didn't get anything for the summer sale. So I was like, shit, dude, I gotta give my tithe to Lord Gavin.
Oh, so you got the whole thing for $30?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
wow.
Actually, right now the sale is still ongoing. It's 60% off the Royal Edition, and I think there's some costume packs associated with it, but I think it actually has like 1, 2, 3 actual expansion packs, like with a like a new story and a new quest line. And one of them, I think the most recent one, The Legacy of the Forge, people really loved it because the main character, Henry, is the son of a blacksmith. So in this expansion pack, you actually get your own forgery, your own forge, and you got to like build it from the ground up, which is kind of similar to the expansion pack in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, where one of the towns that you liberate in the main story, you're actually gifted that town to renovate and revitalize. Except now you're going to do it with a forge in this one. I won't lie, it's hard because money is the easiest thing to come across, and it is kind of I don't know if I want to call it a hardcore RPG or just a realistic RPG, but you can't just like press a button and hire woodworkers and a blacksmith or bricklayers. You have to actually go and find them. Sometimes you have to do a quest for them. and then even after the quest is done, it's like, okay, awesome, cool, you're gonna come help me rebuild my town. And it's like, yeah, sure, here's my fee. And I'm like, what fee? What do you mean fee? I did this favor for you. It's like, yeah, I know, but I still gotta eat. I still I gotta make an honest living. And I'm like, yo, what the heck? So yeah, so I'm excited. So like I said, I'm literally on the last part of the last mission. So it's soon, and then I'll be able to start the second playthrough.
Okay, and you've been enjoying it so far?
Oh, dude, I love the game. I just, I fell off because I was, busy doing a bunch of stuff. But I picked it up pretty quickly, and I'm very I got back into it. I'm like, oh man, I forgot how fun this game is. Actually, so in the last part, when you're laying siege to get the enemy, because the final mission is you're laying siege to a town that the antagonist has taken over. I actually wanted to go repair my armor, so I had to run all the way back because you could fast travel, but time passes normally even when you fast travel. So I went there to like repair my armor, and the blacksmith wasn't open. So I was like, oh crap, whatever. So I'll go to bed like at the inn, and then when I wake up in the morning, I'll go like at first crack of dawn, get my armor repaired and my sword, and I'll be ready for the final battle. I went to bed, and when I woke up, it said game over.
Oh.
Because they're like, yeah, you never showed up at the final battle. Like, you lost. I'm like, wait, what? No, I thought I had time. So I had to go and do like I had to do the mission with broken armor. So I was just pelting the enemies with arrows while my little squad of soldiers was there fighting on the front line. And actually I hit one of them with my with my arrows because dude, archery in that game is so fucking hard. There's no reticule to aim. You just kind of
Eyeball it.
you have to, yeah, you just eyeball it. Like, it's super realistic, but it was so funny. It just says, oh, game over. It's like you missed the battle. So yeah, so very exciting. That's what I've been doing the past couple days. So I'm back in the mood for you know, bohemian antics.
So Bohemian, my historically accurate Bohemian middle-aged RPG.
Yes, dude, it's a little bit too accurate sometimes, bro. Like, goddamn. But yeah, but how about you, dude? How have you been doing?
I've been doing okay. I had a pretty eventful weekend. I went to Orlando to check out the Distant Worlds musical Final Fantasy concert.
Nice, dude. Tell us about that.
Oh, it was beautiful, man. It was mostly Final Fantasy 14 and 16 music, so I wasn't too familiar with it. But the music was incredible nonetheless, because it's Final Fantasy. Like, those are always two things you can expect out of Final Fantasy games or Square Enix games. Really, like, they may be absolute crap, like in the gameplay department. You never know, but the music and the art is always going to be out of this world. And
yeah, of course,
this was no exception with the music. It was incredibly performed by the orchestra. And by a choir, they had it in the back. They did play some tracks from other Final Fantasy games. Like they did play like some music from Final Fantasy V. Actually, a lot from Final Fantasy V, surprisingly enough, because not a lot of people talk about Final Fantasy V and its music. But Final Fantasy V has really good music. Like, I forgot how good the music is in that game. They also play like some music from 4. They played, of course, from 7, because you guys got to play a little bit from 7. They played from 8. They played from 9, and they played from 13, I think.
Okay.
And then while they're playing the music, they have like a projector on the screen. It's like showing like cutscenes and visuals from the game. So it was nice. Like, it was nice, nostalgic trip to like see like all these old Final Fantasy cutscenes with all their what was at the time top of the line CG graphics. With this beautiful music that they were playing, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I was only in Orlando for a day. And then a day and a half, really, like, one night pretty much. And then from there, like, I, went bar hopping, watched some World Cup games. By the way, Spain won today and beat France. Woo! Viva España!
Yeah, Viva España.
Although I am sad the Norwegians lost, because I was rooting for the Norwegians.
So was I.
Yep,
I'm a huge Holland fan.
and of course I'm always going to root against Argentina, but alas, they managed to win yet again. So naturally, I can only hope that the stadium explodes and England and Argentina all die. Spain just becomes the winner by default.
Man, bro, nobody likes Argentina or England right now.
No.
They're literal enemies. And Spain emerged as the unexpected. Well, at least for me personally. I'm not into the FIFA world, but whatever people talk about.
Spain's got a good team. They're ranked number 2 out of all of FIFA, so they got a very, very good team. Argentina's naturally number 1, but Spain is up there.
Yeah, I didn't know that, because in all this talk, I think Spain was brought up maybe twice for me, but in passing.
Yeah, everyone's talking about France and Argentina, and of course everyone's bitching about Argentina, and they're like, "Oh, it's all rigged and stuff," and they keep making calls like in favor of Argentina and Messi because they want to get Messi to the finals because it's his final World Cup and yada yada yada.
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, I wake up, I'm like, "Oh, Spain beat France." I'm like, "Who?" So. No, but good for them. I'm happy that the Spanish won.
So I had a pretty fun weekend, and then I didn't talk about it last episode because I kind of forgot about it. But I did manage to get caught up on some demos.
Talk to us.
So wait, let me see. Okay, there was another one Did I not? Oh damn. Okay, I'll have to look it up because I could have sworn I recorded it, but I guess not. But the first one I did record, and let me just put here. You can see it right here. Can I display it on the? No, this is displaying on. Yes, it is displaying. Okay, great. It's just I can't see on OBS.
Yeah,
because it's being blocked by the freaking window. Yeah, so this is
yeah.
Yeah, so this is Object Impermanence. I think the demo is currently up. It was up for Steam Next Fest, which was in June, so last month. I don't know if the demo is still up, but I do highly recommend that you that you go play it. Try out the demo. And the whole thing with Object Impermanence is that it's a puzzle game with a really unique twist where items, like this is where the impermanence part comes in. Items are, object permanence, how like children have object impermanence, how things like don't exist in their minds when they don't see it. Well, like in this game, things stop existing when you stop looking at them. And so the whole thing of the game is that you have to try and solve puzzles while trying to maintain line of sight on like all the objects that are in the game. So like you'll see like these little balls, right? These like little guy, balls. So the whole thing is that you have to like keep your eye on them at all times, right? Yeah. See how he disappeared?
Yeah.
Because I didn't get it. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, oh, what the fuck? But yeah, you have to. Yeah, I was confused. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. So yeah, like if you take your eye off the objects, it'll disappear. And so, like, you need them to like put them like on pressure plates and stuff, or like those just won't work.
So you have to like.
Yeah, if you put it on the pedestal. Yeah, it didn't click in my head until there.
You have to like walk backwards.
Yeah, because I saw the trailer, but I saw the trailer like months and months ago, so I forgot what the shtick was.
I see.
And then I was like, oh wait, that's right. This is the game where you have to like look at shit, and then it works. Right? If it's on the pedestal, it's safe. But like it won't disappear, but it won't work either. I guess you put that as like a fail safe. So like obviously like that's just the first puzzle. Like it gets more and more advanced as it goes on. There was one that's like kind of a pain in the ass. There was one where like I had to like look at this thing because there was like an object in the middle that is blocking the view of it. So you have to try and find a way to like lower it while still maintaining LOS of the other thing.
I see.
Yeah, and I fucked it up there because I accidentally blocked it.
But dude, even something small like that.
Yeah. If the view gets obstructed, then that's it.
Dude, that's crazy. I thought it was.
No, you have to look at it the entire time. So I remember here, I was like, damn it. Oh, and then I fucked it up again. Yeah, so this is gonna be a little unforgiving. Like once you get used to it, it's not so bad. And you can't change the FOV because obviously that would be cheating if you could change the FOV.
Obviously,
so it's fixed there. Yes. Yeah, so I have to keep here. Yeah. And there's one with the elevator. This one's a pain in the ass also. I just stared at it for a second, like, how the fuck do I do this? Yeah, so really, really cool and clever game. Also, like, it just has a nice vibe to it. It's a nice chill vibe to it.
Yeah.
Really like soothing music, and like the art's pretty good too, man. Because like here. So like here, this kind of reminded me of Ico, like because if you see the cover art of Ico, there's a giant like windmill, and that's like one of like the major locations in the game. And it looks really cool on the cover, so it kind of like reminded me of that. Yeah, like, it's a sense of isolation and like some kind of alien world. It's really cool atmosphere. Then there was this one, also another puzzle game called. Okay, guys, playing. All right, called Order of the Sinking Star. And this is the new game being made by Jonathan Blow, who made Braid and made The Witness, which are also other really shut up, lady, I'm talking anyways. Which are also like really critically acclaimed puzzle games. And so this game is like kind of interesting because you start off as like this woman here who's like seems to have like been in a battle, but she gets it's some kind of dream world. And the dream world is like your overworld. And from here, like this is like the starting area, and you can go north, east, south, or west. And all of these areas will have like their own stories and puzzles attached to them. So I went north to the first one. By the way, this demo's, I don't know if it's still going. I think it's still going. It's also really fucking long too. Like yeah, people, like I played for like a good like 2 or 3 hours, and I think maybe I got through like half the puzzles.
Damn, bro.
And I have people like really long time. And also, this game's a real head scratcher. Like, I have to rack my brain for some of these puzzles. Some of them I couldn't figure out. And I tried really hard not to like look at videos and stuff. There's like one where I looked up a video and I felt kind of stupid for doing it, for not realizing it. So then I went north, right? And then the north one tells a story of like these three heroes who got arrested by a Vicar, I think. And they got sent to prison, and they're trying to like get out and reunite each other so they can try and fight back against the Vicar. And then each character has like their own unique mechanic. So like this big red guy here, I don't know his name. He pushes items. He can only push things, and he can push however many there are. Like there's no limit to how many he can push as long as they're all lined up with each other. And so the game does a pretty good job at like giving like a small area. You do like a little simple puzzle, and then it kind of ramps it up from there. Then there's this chick, the green chick, who talks way too fucking much, by the way. Yeah, several times I'm like, bro, can this lady shut the fuck up? Like, she's like that. Everyone complains about like, MCU. Oh, so quippy. What's more? Like, no, this really is that. Like, I think people over complain about it a lot, but like, she really is that. It's like that quippy Disney level writing. Okay, but I digress. So her gimmick is that she can only pull objects. She can't. Yeah, so you have to find a way to like move them out of the way, and she attaches it automatically too. Like you can't like dictate when she does and doesn't grab it. Like she will just grab it as soon as you make contact. You see right there? I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's the third guy, who is a wizard, and his whole thing is that he teleports and switches places with whatever's in front of him.
Object. Okay, interesting.
So like one of the puzzles, like here, like I had to like find a way to like teleport across to get like a rock to like this bottom left hand corner there, and then teleport my way back across to get past the barrier so then I can teleport to that rock.
Interesting.
So then they get you one character at a time, and then eventually you get two of them, and then you get three of them. And then when you get all three of them, like that's when it starts getting way more difficult, right? So like the heroes, both of them are here. You only have the wizard guy available, so you have to find out like how to like teleport them out, get them across, and then get them all to the exit. And then they amp it up even more. Okay, I think. I think I had to leave for a sec because I had to. Okay, that's why I'm like, why am I sitting still? Oh yeah, because I probably have to get groceries or some shit like that. What the fuck? Okay, so then. After that, then they have enemies. They have like goblins and stuff, and if you get close to the goblin, it'll just kill you. So you have to like find ways to like get around them and not get within their range. And then there's other puzzles where you have to get the goblins to kill each other because it's actually like they'll attack anything within range, even each other. And there's some gates that will be locked if you don't kill all the enemies. So you have to like find a way to get them all to kill each other. And there was one in particular that was really fucking hard because there's three of them, and you have to get all three of them to attack each other at the same time. So it was. Yeah, that was the one I was like really scratched my head over. Okay, and then
honestly, that's an impressive concept.
It's really, really cool. I really enjoyed it. It was really hard.
It was just hard.
There are some puzzles where I'm like, fuck, how do I do this? And then I feel like there's like another. I mean, there was this one here, but I could probably talk about another episode because I don't want to take up too much time because we do have a lot to talk about. And then there was this one here. Okay, I'll talk about these two next time. But yeah, those are like the two main ones. Object Impermanence and Order of the Sinking Star. I don't know if their demos are up currently, but if they are up, I highly recommend that anyone listening to this go and check them out, see if they're to your liking, and like of course, be sure to wishlist it and then give it a buy when it comes out because I'm sure it'll be really cool.
Definitely go and check them out. Yeah, support your local game developers, especially when they make creative games like this. I really like the Object Impermanence one.
Yeah, that one's really cool. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
All right. So, hope we get some news.
Absolutely, my friend.
All right.
Starting with today.
So, for our first order of news, we have here a very interesting article from Tom's Hardware where a supposed Redditor user by the name of Slaw RFP, who claims to be married to a Chinese lawyer and a certified Chinese English translator, saying that apparently in China there are actually several cases of people winning digital ownership rights to things that they've digitally owned, which is of course a huge hot topic right now, given the subject of today's episode being Sony trying to kill digital ownership. And of course, like we've talked about, stop killing games over and over again. Every time, like there's always been an update on it. We talked about it. Even last episode, we talked about it. But this was a very interesting read because this user actually lists 3 different cases, and these cases don't just cover games. They also tackle digital assets, in-game purchases, Bitcoin, and even social media accounts. So, Slaw RFP cited, like I said, 3 cases, with the first one being called the Golden Blade case, which arose back all the way in 2009 as a part of a dispute between a wife, Li Lan, who is the wife of a deceased gamer by the name of Lu Lan, and this case came about as Li Lan, the wife, wanted to sell the Golden Blade, which is an item her husband acquired in the game Zeng 2, which is a now defunct MMORPG. By the way, to any CCP spies that are listening in on this, or anybody who's using a VPN from China listening in, I'm very sorry if I butchered Chinese. So, anyways, I digress. So this item, apparently, though, there was a little bit of wrinkle in this case, as the in-game wife of Lu Lan, who is named Yang Yuan, apparently they got the item together, and Yang Yuan argued that she should get ownership of it. However, the court ruled that Lu put in the effort, paid for the internet access, loaded up with in-game credits, and that the buyers were willing to acquire the item for around 50,000 RMB, which I don't know what that stands for, stands for about $7,350 at current exchange rates, and that it had the attributes of property and could therefore be inherited by Lu's legal wife. And according to D Hang law offices, that said that the in-game marriage between Lu and Yang had no legal bearing, so Li Lan stands as the inheritor of Lu's property. But because Yang spent a similar effort in helping Lu to acquire the artifact, its ownership belongs to both, so Li Lan and Yang Yuan are each entitled to 50% of the asset's price. Which,
shit.
That first one's kind of funny, man, because it's like, damn, you're having a property battle over some fucking like golden digital sword between your actual wife and the wife you made in some MMORPG.
Dude, when I read that part, it killed me. I was like, wait, in-game wife? What the fuck?
So then there's another case in 2024, which tackled a deceased user's Bitcoin holdings, which are worth about 30,000 USD or 200,000 RMB. As well as their social media accounts. And according to Chinese lawyer Wang Lianghua, on the Chinese social media platform Tao Tiao, the inheritors lawyer argued that the virtual property had attributes of legal property, much like the previous case, as it could be traded, has value, and could even generate profits, which meets the scarcity, disposal, and value definitions of property. However, on the other hand, the platforms holding these digital assets argued that ownership belongs to them based on the agreements that the user accepted when signing up for the account. Yeah, one of those bullshit ass, you signed the contract. All it belongs to us, right? However, the court ruled that the virtual assets, including Bitcoin, game equipment, social media, commercial rights, and domain names, among others, are included in the deceased estates and are therefore inheritable, and that the operation of social media accounts can be passed on to their heirs. However, private content such as chat records or anything that would be considered purely personal interest cannot be passed on, instead archived by the respective platform. Lastly, the inheritance prohibition clause in the platform, that bullshit they tried to pull, is unenforceable as it violates statutory rights, and that therefore the platform would be required to assist with any inheritance requests and could ask for supporting documentation as well as charge reasonable costs. And then the last of these cases is another one. There was no year given. It was just a case where a mother lost her son and asked the gaming platform to give her access to his accounts. The court ruled similarly to the previous case, saying that the gamer's accounts, character data, virtual items, and other assets are virtual property and thus inheritable.
Oh.
Yeah, so this was a cool case to. These are cool cases to cover, man, because it feels like all around the world we're just getting absolutely fucked.
Yes,
by these companies and how they want to just pretty much destroy the whole concept of ownership, and they just want to make their own rules about what you can and cannot own.
Yeah, and yeah, rules and about ownership. Well, actually, no, rules just about being subservient. Like these are the rules. We allow you to have these products instead of hey, we make these products for you. It's like no, you are allowed to have them, but play nice and behave, or we could take it away from you. It's like
Yeah, and I just saw today
oh,
that apparently Microsoft deleted like some guy's 25-year account and like all his data, and they even had like his son's baby pictures in it,
dude.
and they couldn't get it back. And then there's another case of a guy in Brazil who lost
Yes, I saw that as well.
like all of his I think it was his Xbox account or something.
He had gotten hacked, and Microsoft was essentially said, "Yeah, you got to rebuy all your games." And he's like,
customer service like you got to buy everything. He's like, no.
It's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, so he took him to court over it, and they said like, no, you have to give him back all his shit.
Yeah, dude, especially if it's all digital stuff, like you could just give it back. Like it's clearly there. Like he had the license for it. I was gonna say he owned the games, but you can't say that, right? And you can't say that because he doesn't really own it. But yeah, dude, like he clearly had it and he got hacked and lost everything. You could just give it back. It's all computer code.
Yeah,
You're acting like you're actually whatever.
Exactly. And like,
Well,
so like it's great because we see like the little seeds of like all this precedent that we could go across as well. I think also like Brazil is also like because like we obviously we couldn't put everything on here because there's just too much going on around Sony and stuff. But I did see that Brazil was like, going to be investigating into it, as well as like some other places were also going to be investigating.
Yeah,
Sony and their decision to pull out.
Yeah, but we'll be getting into that because I actually have a couple of stories on that particular on that particular subject. But the resistance is growing.
Yeah, and especially in China. Like in China, that would be huge because naturally the Chinese market is absolutely massive, and we know that where the money is where the companies are going to bend backwards, and China represents a huge potential market that they could break into. So like when you have these cases, this precedent here in these court cases. Now, granted, like Chinese law isn't the same as U.S. law. U.S. law is very much determined by precedent, but I'm sure it plays a factor in Chinese law as well, or in some way.
Yeah.
So like,
of course,
when bullshit like this happens in the future in China, people would be like, hey, according to these court cases, I do own this shit. And then eventually that catches on because the company's going to be like, well, this is too much of a headache to manage it, to make it so that like, oh, the Chinese markets get this, like everyone else gets that. Because you have to manage like, like you have to like set aside something for like a billion fucking people, and then set aside something for a billion other people when it's just easier to just standardize it and just be like, all right, fuck it. Yeah, everyone gets all the same thing or the same rights or whatever. Barring like some deal they have with like other companies or whatever. But at least when it comes to the law, right, it'd be easier for them to just make everything the same, so they don't have to deal with the headache of getting court cases left and right thrown at them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you have any other thoughts?
No, nice to see that the gamers are getting represented and we're getting our rights. Gamers, the most oppressed minority.
Yes, naturally.
Stand strong, brethren.
Stand strong. And speaking of standing strong,
indeed, we have I want to say the French protesting again, but this time from Barcelona. So, Assassin's Creed Black Flag studio in Ubisoft Barcelona the studio is being laid off. At least 51% of the staff, 51 of the staff is being laid off. So the strike, which was organized by the Coordinadora Sindical del Videojuego Union, is taking place during negotiations over planned job cuts that Ubisoft is going to make to the studio. Now, I'll get to that Ubisoft response in a bit, but the studio itself actually worked on the most recent Ubisoft game, which was the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake, and apparently they actually were the ones that worked on all of the underwater levels, and now they're all being fired. Well, the plan is to fire them. I think as of right now, they're not fired yet. Now, these layoffs came right after the release of Black Flag, which sold 2 million copies on its first day, and it's actually doing pretty damn good. And of course, in typical video game publisher fashion, they are now cutting costs everywhere because they don't want to share in that loot, which is a shame. So in early June, actually, VGC reported that Ubisoft was closing its Winnipeg and Belgrade studios and is actually restructuring its Barcelona office, which could result in as many as 380 job losses. And part of this report, it was revealed that Ubisoft Barcelona was specifically being restructured to work on Rainbow Six projects. So, as part of the 3-day strikes, the Ubisoft workers are demanding that the 51 planned layoffs do not happen. They cancel that idea. Stronger job security guarantees to prevent massive layoffs happening in the future, of course. The return to the studio's previous remote working policy, which allowed up to 60% remote working. Promotions and salary increases that they say were previously promised. And a statement by the CSVI says, despite Assassin's Creed Black Flag's commercial success, 51 Ubisoft Barcelona workers will lose their job in the coming weeks. And after an intense production, the company is claiming a quote strategic shift to justify these layoffs. After years of dedication to our team, the company has turned its back on us. We will never see the fruits of our labor, and the reward for our hard work will be the loss of our jobs. Now, they did reach out to Ubisoft for comment, and Ubisoft did respond to VGC's request for comment, stating, "We are aware of the strike action announced at Ubisoft Barcelona and respect employees' rights to express their views. Ubisoft has initiated a proposed restructuring of Ubisoft Barcelona as part of a broader efforts to reduce costs and focus resources on strategic priorities. Under this proposal, the studio would focus solely on Rainbow Six projects, which may impact up to 51 employees. This remains a proposal, and no final decision has been made until the collective consultation process has concluded. We are committed to constructive dialogue with employee representatives and to supporting employees throughout this period." Good job, guys. You worked hard on Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which honestly was meant to keep the company afloat, and you've been rewarded with your eternal reward of being fired and sent to the Rainbow Six salt mines.
Yeah, 2 million a day, dude.
Yeah, dude, 2 million on the first days
in July, which is normally a pretty dead month for video games.
Yeah, dude. So, what the fuck? Are you that down bad for cash that you're gonna cut people's jobs when things are going great? I don't know if that says more about like how dire the situation is at Ubisoft or not.
And you're gonna send the survivors to the Rainbow Six salt mines.
Bro, they're gonna be fucking miserable.
Because God forbid they're allowed to work on anything else. You're only allowed to work on the same 3 fucking franchises.
Yes. Yeah, bro, but it's a damn shame because I remember I haven't played the remake, but I did play the original, and I remember the underwater levels of Black Flag being pretty cool because you're kind of at the mercy of the sea, so you had to avoid sharks and eels and jellyfish, and of course you have to manage your breath as well. Those are cool parts of the game.
And I imagine they've been expanded upon in Resync because they said they were expanding and Resync a lot. Like you, I haven't played it yet, but I do remember playing number 4 way back when. And the underwater sections, I mean, were probably like one of my least favorite parts, but they were still like an important part of the game because it did add some variety to it. And it is part of like that, it lends itself into that Caribbean setting because it's like, we're playing a game that takes place on a bunch of islands. It would make sense that you'd want to explore underwater and find some hidden treasures.
Yeah, dude, as a pirate, yeah, find hidden treasure. Yeah,
so I mean, I hope these, they have they get what they're asking for, because I think they deserve better than just be laid off for making a pretty good game.
Yes, or worse, be sent to go work on a
I think they'd rather have a job than not have one. So
yeah, but goddamn, bro, like these guys, but these are talented developers. Let them work on whatever they want to work on.
Yeah, it would be a shame if they were just like, oh well, you're just gonna be relegated to Rainbow Six stuff now.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that game has been going on for a long ass time. It's like 11 years now.
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna be 11
It's been
years.
what?
I think it came out December of 2015.
Yeah, and I think didn't they do some kind of refresh pretty recently?
I don't know. I haven't kept up with the game. I hadn't played the game since it first came out.
Well, I think they went free to play,
They
and
went free to
then
play a long time ago, I think.
they did something recently. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was like a refresh or something, but
Well, I don't know anything about
but
it. Like I said, I haven't played the game since the first year it came out.
yeah, I know you liked it. You liked the game a lot. when it
Yeah, I
came
like the
out.
game a lot. I mean, now it's like it's grown beyond me because it's 9 years of content, and everyone's been playing for 9 years. So
Yeah, actually, I was watching. I can't remember what YouTuber it was that I saw, but they actually were talking about how the game has evolved to such a degree that it's actually insane. So for professional play or for like competitive play, they actually have binders like this thick of strategies that teams do. And they actually change strats and take notes mid match to adjust for the strategies, and they consult these thick ass binders to see. I think one of the comments stated that one of the coaches for these professional teams actually spent like I think $500 printing out a binder for each player at a
so wait,
like
was
at an
it
office.
500 per binder per player?
No, I
Or
think it was
500 total?
500. Like, I think it was 500 in total, but still, bro, like that the $500 worth of paper is a lot. Paper and ink is not cheap. So
Damn. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So this game has its audience, and they're as hardcore as it gets. They're very very hardcore.
All right. So how about we get into the shit,
Yeah, into the meat and potatoes. Well, you know,
the shit and
the
piss.
shit and the shit piss.
Getting into the shit and piss here, starting
We're gonna
with
cry, piss our pants, maybe.
yeah, starting with Xbox lay. Oh, actually, no. First things first. Xbox console price increases because layoffs aren't bad enough. Now we are a little late on this, but I do want to highlight how yet again we are seeing console price increases 6 years into this console generation.
When
We're-
things should be getting cheaper, they're getting more expensive. God damn it. Okay.
And this is after console prices for Xbox specifically has already gone up twice. So this is the third increase that we are going to get.
Yeah.
And it is a doozy because, well, I mean, Xbox just, as we all know, hasn't really been doing too hot because, there's no fucking games on there.
Understatement.
And Game Pass is a absolute dumpster fire, which we will cover in a moment. But it was revealed that the 2 terabyte model was going to be discontinued, probably because there's an ongoing storage crisis now with fuck ass AI companies buying up all the SSDs and hard drives. But we have the Xbox Series S 512 gigabyte version, which is the budget version, by the way, going from $399.99 to $499.99. It's $500 pretty much. So it went from $400 to $500. Then we have the Xbox Series S, the terabyte version, going from $450 to $600.
Bro, what the fudge?
And then we
That
got
is-
the Xbox Series X, 1 terabyte digital version, which was $600, now $750. And then finally we have the Xbox Series X 1 terabyte version, going from $650 to $800. Just for further context, I think the terabyte was like $400, I think, when it first launched. I want to say it was like
And
$400 or $500. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like $400. The X was like, I think, $500, and it is now $800.
Yeah, dude, tripled in price, quadruple since the beginning.
Well, 300. It's
Since
300. Not triple.
So triple.
We haven't gotten that bad. We haven't tripled in price yet.
Okay.
It's not 1,500. That would
Yet.
be triple. Yeah, that would be. No. See, that's the next generation. That's Project Helix and the PlayStation 6.
Project Helix. Helix Roman numeral for 10, as in this will cost you $10,000. Oh
and
god.
PS6 because 6 is the number of digits you're gonna have to pay for this thing.
That's not. Man, this blows. This sucks. Oh god.
So then, after all
All right.
that,
So
just like a week later, there's always ruminations of Xbox doing some massive layoffs, as we have talked about in the past, as rumors have swirled around. And it seems that, today, or rather July 6th, is that day that it has finally come. So, in an email sent to staff and reviewed by IGN, Xbox boss Asha Sharma called what was going to be the most significant restructuring in Xbox history, as they were going to start cutting jobs because the business is, quote, not healthy, and they will be losing a fifth of their staff all across Xbox.
oh, good lord.
And as part of these cuts, South of Midnight developer Compulsion Games, Psychonaut developer Double Fine Productions will return to management, which means they will be independent again and transition to independence with their own IP catalog and with runway for their next game. Which, that's actually not that bad, all things considered. At least they didn't get they didn't get shit canned like Tango Gameworks did.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have Hellblade developer Ninja Theory and State of Decay developer Undead Labs. They have entered terms to join new ownerships with funding to complete and grow Senua and State of Decay 3. Now, Microsoft is not specific on who the new owners are, but that seems to be the implication that they'd find like a new publisher or someone to buy them out, which lines up with the reports about how Senua was shown at the Xbox showcase over the summer, and they did that even though they knew they were going to cut the studio because the plan was to hopefully find a buyer that would be interested in it, and they kind of threw it out there as like a marketing deal. And then finally, we have Marvel's Blade developer Arcane will see its management enter the required consultation with its work council to review potential strategic options as per French labor law. Yeah, because EU has a bit more stringent labor laws, so that's going to be kind of up in the air as we try and see what's going to happen. But there was no word specifically on Marvel's Blade specifically. Man, Blade can't have nothing, man. He can't have a fucking movie. He can't even have a video game. Somehow he made it into Marvel Tokon. Thank God for that. He made it Marvel Tokon and he made it to Marvel Rivals. So he's got that. But like he hasn't got his own thing. He needs his own thing.
He needs respect is what he needs. Like literally the Blade franchise is what saved Marvel as a company from bankruptcy. So, also selling off its characters to, Fox and Sony, but the Blade movie is what saved Marvel like as a company. Like it got them out of being bankrupted. So they need to give this guy some respect. Seriously.
Put some respect on that name.
Put some respect on that name, exactly.
So naturally, there are layoffs across other parts of Xbox, which include Activision, Bethesda, ZeniMax, Blizzard, King, Mojang, and Xbox Game Studios. Microsoft did insist that none of its first-party publishers announced games or projects were being canceled as part of these reductions. So it's mostly going to be like stuff that's already like in development. That's behind the scenes in development, but nothing that's been announced. So that means stuff like Fable, Gears of War E-Day, Clockwork Revolution, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, Minecraft Dungeons 2, and Elder Scrolls 6 will all be safe.
They better be. Because they're kind of banking on those games right now.
And with more recent reporting, it's claimed that Sharma actually wants to speed up development on a new Elder Scrolls game, a new Fallout game, and new Halo games as part of the planned company reset. Yeah, so there was further details from Reuters talking about how Microsoft had ruled out turning the Xbox brand into a wholly owned subsidiary. And this is said that this move could result in them being operated as a joint venture with other partners or even potentially sold. Man, that'd be crazy, huh?
Sold.
I don't know who the heck's gonna want to buy them because being a hardware platform is such a massive money sink. You need so much capital to keep something like that running. I don't know who the heck's gonna want to take that on.
Which is why it makes sense to just stay with Microsoft because, dude, they literally make hardware. So, and
Microsoft makes software. They've always been a software company.
Okay. Well, in any case, but the the point still being that Microsoft has the capital that, I mean, they've been sinking money into Xbox for a long time now. So
Yeah, until the camel's back got broken because of Game Pass and the Eye of Sauron that is Satya Nadella went like, oh, hey, what's going on here?
Exactly. And he's like, well, if I can't put AI in this, I don't want it.
Yeah. Hence why we are where we are right now.
Exactly.
So going further on, we have reports across studios and how they have been affected by these layoffs. We have Obsidian, which is letting go of 52 workers. And this is including, 43 staff members based in Obsidian Studio in California and 9 remote workers located in the U.S. state, which of course counts up to 52. And this was reported by Game Developer. And then we have, amongst all this, a new Fallout game apparently being in development over in Obsidian. And it will be led by Josh Sawyer, who did, I believe, led the previous Fallout New Vegas, which is a highly acclaimed game. So I'm sure a lot of people were very happy to hear this.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it seems like Avowed 2 might be canceled. Although, according to a video I saw with Jason Schreier, they still might be working on it in the background. Like it's kind of like a just in case. They have like a skeleton crew working on it. And he claims that the game is further along than people think. So the hope is that Obsidian will kind of finish it and get it close and then show it to Xbox and be like, okay, well, I guess you're close enough to finish it. So we'll just give you whatever money you need to finish it up and then we'll release it. But who knows? That's still up in the air. But we do know that there will be a new Fallout game from Obsidian.
Okay, interesting. All right, cool.
And then we head on over to the SO Studio, Elder Scrolls Online over at ZeniMax.
Oh my god.
As they have reportedly been pretty much fucked and decimated.
Gutted.
As apparently as much as half of its development team has been laid off, and their roadmap is currently being reevaluated. And this was reported by Kotaku, and even the community managers had to go and clarify about what was going on over at ZeniMax Online. And one of them being Jessica Folsom, who took to the ESO forums saying that looking beyond Season 1, the roadmaps we previously shared will be shifting. We want to take the time to evaluate the work in front of us and then lock down an updated schedule. Or we'd love to share a concrete we'd love to share a concrete detail today. Stepping back to get our plan straight will let us come back to you with a clear timeline. Yeah, so obviously no one knows what the hell is going on. Let's move this to the bottom. Yeah, so obviously things are very dire for the Elder Scrolls Online developers. They did release a statement. I don't have the statement here, but they did say something along the lines of it's bad, but we're kind of at the levels we were when we were making our more popular expansions. So don't worry, guys. All the reassuring stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least
don't worry, guys.
All the stuff that you could possibly reassure after you had your studio pretty much chopped in half. But then we also have IO Interactive apparently having to close down their studio in Istanbul as a result of Xbox pulling funding from codename Project Dragon, which was an online fantasy RPG being developed by IO Interactive.
I think we covered this, yeah. I remember. And
they do have a statement to the community saying, "Dear gaming community, following the end of our external financial partnership on Project Fantasy, IOI has regained full ownership of the project and our IP. We will continue to develop and fund it independently. Amongst our other projects with this context, we had to find a new balance for the long-term future of the studio, focus on the success of our main internal core titles instead of external projects and potential mobile game derivatives. This has meant making changes as well as proposed changes across our studios, the closure of our Istanbul studio, and starting a process to part with colleagues who have been a meaningful part of what makes IOI what it is. Our immediate focus on supporting those affected as best as we can through this period. If you are aware of any opportunities within your network, we will be genuinely grateful for any support you can offer to any of the talented people across IOI who might be looking for new opportunities. These are hard but necessary decisions in order to retain the long-term future of IO Interactive as one of the very few fully independent AAA developer and publisher, as well as to give Project Fantasy the best possible foundation to succeed under our passion and direction. Project Fantasy gave a world and an IP that we are wholly committed to, and we cannot wait to share the love with you." So yeah, it seems to be back in their court, but they're going to have to close down some studios and make some really big cuts as a result of the funding getting pulled, which is very similar to what happened to Romero Games, which is John Romero and his wife's studio. They were working an FPS game. This was we were covering this last time there was massive layoffs, and part of that was cuts in funding to that, so they had to lay off like a shitload of people. Pretty much had to close the studio down, I think, practically.
Yeah, no, they closed the studio down. Or I think they were looking for someone to buy to buy it, but I don't think they had buyers, so they just closed it.
Yeah, but
it's kind of stuck.
They were different. Oh yeah, what were you saying?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say it sucks for IOI because they just released the James Bond game and it did really, really well. So, again, it's just another case of wow, you did such a great job. Have some layoffs as a reward. It's like fuck.
At least in this case, though, I can't say I can blame IOI for Microsoft pulling the rug on them because I'm sure they were depending on that money.
Yeah, for sure.
So they have to kind of make sure that they have their priorities where they need to be. But we also have the layoffs heavily impacting the accessibility team over at Xbox as well. And according to a now deleted July 6th Blue Sky post by a senior user researcher over ZeniMax Media, say that they were caught in the blast zone as well. And they revealed that the accessibility staff overall seems heavily impacted and multiple people on the Bethesda user research team were getting laid off as well. LinkedIn, the researcher reshared a post by Zach Clothier, who is an accessibility test lead for Microsoft Game Accessibility Testing Services, who also announced their own departure after nearly 3 years within the role. And ironically enough, this comes right at the time of Disability Pride Month. which I didn't even know was a thing. Apparently July is Disability Pride Month. So what better way to celebrate that than to lay off a shitload of your accessibility team who are supposed to make things more accessible for disabled gamers. So a Microsoft spokesperson did speak to GameSpot over email about this, and they said that accessibility remains a priority for Xbox while we've made changes across the team. Creating more accessible game experiences for players has not changed. Which is funny again, because happy Disability Pride Month. You're all getting fired. So we head over then to Bethesda, who are also being impacted by the layoffs. And apparently we have 50 employees in key high-performing positions as well. And this has in turn shattered morale, of course. It raised the risk of future development crunch and increased likelihood the game's Elder Scrolls 6 is already far off completion date will be delayed. I mean, at this point, what's a few more years, right? we're already about to hit like what? 20... Sorry.
No, not 20 years.
No, not 20. It's gonna be... No. But it feels like it.
Don't look at me like that. Bro.
I think it's been like 6. No, it's been 15 years. It's been 15 years. But hey, man, at the rate this game's going, would you be surprised if we had to wait 20 years?
June 2018 is when they. It was at E3. Oh wow, E3.
No, 20 years when the last Elder Scrolls game came out.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the teaser. Oh no, it definitely has been 20 years since the last Elder Scrolls game, for sure.
No, it came out 2011, so 15.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's still a long ass time.
And so Bethesda Game Studios Union is saying goodbye to their former colleagues. They even put a memorial for them in the hallways of Bethesda. Except HR went, "Fuck you! We pull that down." What's that? You want to give a memorial to your colleagues? Fuck them and fuck you. Pull that down. So, in relation to this, Bethesda Game Studio Union said that unfortunately HR made our office manager take this down almost immediately. They said because the common area had to be removed. We used common areas for many things in the team, including fan works, but HR seems to believe that a celebration of service is inappropriate.
Just so you guys know, this is your public service announcement. HR serves the company, not you. Fuck HR.
And so earlier they were talking about how like even people who are deep in the trenches and been in this company for a long time have gotten laid off. One of whom is Christiane Meister, who has been working at Bethesda for 27 years as a lead character artist, and she worked on Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, so all the way back to Morrowind. Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76. And for those of you who don't know, this is Christiane right here. She has worked on a crap load of Bethesda games, and her loyalty to the company has been repaid by getting fired. And so the Bethesda Game Studio Union workers, the people who put up the memorial, said that they will be retaliating against Microsoft and Bethesda for this. So the CWA affiliated Bethesda Game Studio Union is reportedly planning a protest outside the Bethesda offices located in Montreal, Rockville, Maryland, and Austin on July 15th. And these protests will follow 440 union member job cuts across Bethesda and ZeniMax. Wow, 440. Okay. And part of these include 100 layoffs at Doom Maker id Software, who we will talk about in a bit, which that's okay. And more than 200 working at Elder Scrolls Online Studios and ZeniMax Online. So in a statement by one BGS sent to Kotaku, they said the company wants us to accept this as a done deal and quietly disappear. We won't let that happen. Our next steps are to mobilize. We need every single member visible and unified. To that end, we are announcing our Save Our Devs March across those studios on Wednesday, July 15th. We show management right now that we mean business, so they will properly take care of our fellow co-workers today and think twice before ever attempting to play this again. Stay strong, look out for one another, and we look forward to seeing us all march together on the 15th. And so an email obtained by game developer, 1BGS, said that Microsoft was legally required to sit down with them for effects bargaining. And what this essentially means is that we have the right to negotiate. This is 1BGS, that we have the right to negotiate exactly how these layoffs impact our people. And we are heading to the people to fight for every single affected worker. We're going to be demanding preferential transfers to Microsoft to place affected BGS workers into open roles across Xbox and Microsoft first. Stronger severance, extended healthcare to ensure no one is financially abandoned, as well as recall rights to ensure our laid off members are the first ones hired back when BGS expands. Yeah, so it seems like they're really trying to look out for them, which is good. And then we have here, this one's this was definitely the one that upsets me the most, because id Software we're reportedly losing 136 workers. And for those of you who don't know, id Software are the studio behind the incredible Doom games, and they actually just released the DLC for Doom Dark Ages Revelations, which apparently is incredible and has amazing reviews on Metacritic. I got 90 on Metacritic. I haven't played it yet, so just because I just haven't had time. I'm still trying to beat Pragmata, but I do plan on beating it. But everyone says it's incredible. It has all the cool stuff that Doom the Dark Ages has, but they put a lot of stuff from Eternal in there, so it's a beautiful marriage between the two. And naturally, their reward for making such an awesome expansion pack is to lose their jobs.
Is laying off.
So in the original story, there were ruminations that apparently up to 50% of employees at the Texas-based studios could be laid off, which would equate to about 90 redundancies. And another source told game developer that the QA department in particular was being absolutely decimated, probably because, the thing to do now is to outsource all your QA work. And apparently one laid off worker on LinkedIn corroborated these statements and expressed anger at the studio being torn apart for yet another reorganization of assets. And so in an update, it was shown that in the war notice filed in Texas for the Xbox subsidiary ZeniMax Media, that there have been a layoff of 158 people in the U.S. states. 96 of those redundancies are being made at the offices of id in Richardson, Texas. 40 workers report the location has also been let go, indicating 136 roles have been eliminated total. And so through all this, id Software did release their own statement talking about the layoffs. They said, "Thank you all for your support this week. While our studio was impacted, those changes were spread across teams. We still have the crew we need to build the games and tech we're known for. The team today is about the same size we were when making Doom 2016. We have always had a flat studio where everyone's a maker, and we remain true to that philosophy moving forward. We are focused on supporting each other and the other team members impacted. We're going to keep building the great games and tech that have defined us for the past 35 years, and we're looking forward to seeing you at QuakeCon this August." Yeah, so that's important to keep in mind, that the layoffs were kind of spread across, and that the people who work with the tech and build games are a lot of them are still there, because there was a lot of uncertainty. This is actually an article that I found on Kotaku that came out, I think, a little bit before the update that I spoke about, because there was a lot of rumors about how the id Software team, the people behind the id Tech engine, were getting laid off, pretty much all of them. And there were rumors that they were going to abandon the id Tech engine, which at the time was very confusing and very anger-inducing, because it's well, you want to make these games faster, right? But then you want to fire all the people who know how to work your engine. It's just, what are we doing here? But apparently it's not as bad as we had thought. Like it's less apocalyptic and more catastrophic.
Oh wow. Okay, awesome. Less apocalyptic and more catastrophic. That doesn't make me feel any better. So I can't imagine what these people are going through. Okay.
So there's some further expansions going on the Kotaku article, where apparently employees at id Software who have been working there for decades, including Jerry Keehan, who is a designer going back to 2004's Doom 3, are being let go. So these deeps are getting very cut. These cuts are getting very deep. And so, yeah, here's like just the information I pretty much read before in the previous article. And so there's another article here about what id was working on at the time. So apparently, according to this article on GameStop Spot, and where they cite GamesBeat, where apparently there was a new Perfect Dark game being worked on by id. Oh my god. Paid. A co-op or multiplayer-centric version of Doom, and a John Wick-esque experience game called Fury being worked on. But now all those are kind of up in the air, as id Software is probably going to be forced back into the Doom salt mines. So apparently the chances that these projects get fully fleshed out is pretty low, like I said. And in addition to that, former id Software principal VFX artist Derek Best on LinkedIn said that they were being relegated to support studio size. All right, so we are back because James died for a second.
Sorry. I can't even explain what happened.
All right, so where were we? Oh, right, yeah.
Pain. Literally the last words I heard before I went into the ether for like a few minutes.
Yeah, so pain. Yeah, so apparently id Software was working on a potential new Perfect Dark game after the initiative's iteration of Perfect Dark failed. They were also reportedly working on a co-op or multiplayer-centric version of Doom, as well as a John Wick-esque experience called Fury. But unfortunately, the prospects of these games coming out is rather low. And Derek Best, who is the former id Software principal VFX artist, said that apparently the studio is being relegated to support studio size. Best himself had been laid off after 12 years with the company. And yeah, what fucking shit, man. Come on. That's now twice we couldn't get a fucking Perfect Dark game off the ground. And chances are that now it's going to be thrown into the Doom salt mines, because now Microsoft's all like, oh, we got to focus on our core IPs, like, Halo and Gears of War and Doom and Quake and, Wolfenstein, all that stuff. So there we have, well, how do we get here? And, I'll tell you how we get here, or how we got here. We got here because Game Pass bombed really, really, really badly. So apparently Game Pass was supposed to have 77 million subscribers by this year of 2026, but has only reached 30 million. It couldn't even scratch half of it.
Bro, Jesus Christ. They undershot that.
And Asha Sharma herself even admitted that Game Pass had failed to grow as Microsoft expected. And there's been reports by the Wall Street Journal saying that Microsoft expected the Game Pass numbers to be around 77 million by this time, and it only reached 30 million. And going back to the FTC versus Microsoft trial that was trying to block the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, it was revealed that they had hoped to get 100 million subscribers by 2030, which probably not really going to happen.
It's not going to happen, dude.
And so, in the wake of all this, we have, in a turn of irony, Asha Sharma being named an advisor to the U.S. Federal Reserve Task Force for Productivity and Jobs. And she is joining one of 5 task forces, which is being headed by Chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve, Kevin Warsh. And there are 5 task forces, which are the Communications, Balance Sheet Policy, Data, Productivity and Jobs, and Inflation Frameworks task forces, with Sharma joining the Productivity and Jobs one. And she is one of 3 advisors for it.
One day after announcing one of the biggest layoffs in gaming history. Again.
Yeah, just mere days.
Because we've had three different.
Oh, and this is only half of it, because this is the plan is it's 3,200 overall, but it's 1,600 right now, and then another 1,600 somewhere down the line.
Yes, probably after GTA 6.
And I know like Activision Blizzard already said that, yeah, like guys, we're gonna get cuts, but we're not gonna share anything until like we're ready to confirm it. Man, could you imagine being some employee seeing 1,600 of your colleagues being let go, and you don't even know if you're next or not?
Yep.
I can't even begin to imagine like the kind of abject fear you must be feeling, and that just can't be good for morale.
No, it's not good for morale at all. And I've seen it happen too. But I mean, it's different, I guess, as a nurse, just because a lot of the times nurses, they don't really get fired. Like they quit. Like 99% of the time, if you don't see your coworker anymore, it's because they quit. Like it's very rare for them to actually get laid off. But it's just it is weird seeing someone that you've worked with just one day you go into the office and they're just not there anymore. It's like, where are they? Oh, they're gone. What? So, I mean, I can't relate entirely, but I do know the feeling of, just, seeing someone that you've worked with just not there the next day, just poof, disappeared. So those poor people, their spirits are definitely being tested right now.
No, it's terrible what's been going on Xbox, and all this is because Phil Spencer bet the farm and then some on Game Pass. And as we saw, he wasn't even remotely close to getting it.
I don't even know if it was because the goal, it's like the number goal itself that they had set was just like absurdly high, or if Game Pass just failed as a service, like on its own merit.
Well, I mean, of course that's probably gonna be debated like forever and ever, right? But like,
yeah.
I mean, like when you train your audience to just pay $20 a month for however much it was, there's not gonna be much reason to be like, well, why am I gonna buy your games when I can just pay $20 a month and then that's it? In order to sustain that, you need a shitload of people, right? Like a lot of people, and you need content, right? Which is that was his whole game plan. His game plan was like, okay, I'm gonna buy up all these studios. They're gonna make games for us. But as we saw over the years, like the games just weren't very good, and we kept hearing stories about like how the management just wasn't there. Like they were just way too hands off with everything. And I've bemoaned several times on this podcast about how like, hey man, this laissez-faire, hands-off, completely approach just is not working and is costing people's lives and their and their jobs. Well, their livelihoods.
It is costing their livelihoods, because now Microsoft is, I mean, I don't even know if you want to call this an overcorrection, but they're addressing the problem now, and unfortunately people are suffering the consequences of said solution. So yeah, Phil definitely made a bad bet with Game Pass, and we can argue if it was a failure because the number goal was too high, or if it failed because the service itself, like you said, why would I buy these games if I could just pay $20 a month and then have access to this ginormous library from either my Xbox or my PC? And that was a failure too.
And then of course there was the massive price hikes, especially that 50% one.
Oh, dude, yeah. And then that killed it.
And it was confirmed by Matthew Ball, who is now working for Xbox, but he's an analyst, and he said that after that price hike, we lost millions of subscribers after that, because that's insane. You went from I'm only paying $20 a month to now I'm paying $30 a month.
Screw that shit, dude. Especially now in this day and age where people are like nickel and diming just to put food on the table. Nah, bro. Like, leisure is supposed to be cheap and accessible. Because when it comes to like budgeting, like for families, the leisure is always cut first in the budget, because they gotta free up cash for essentials. So they did not plan that accordingly at all.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the balance of it all. It's like, how do I make money off this, right? Because you can keep the subscription cheap and you get, subscribers there, but then you lose out on box sales. So then naturally, in order to sustain it all, you gotta, increase the price over and over again, especially when you're mass acquiring all these studios for billions of dollars a pop, and then you acquire the biggest publisher in America, Activision Blizzard, and you drop a whopping $69 billion on them. That's gonna draw some eyes there. Nice, yeah.
Sorry.
And God only knows they probably still have not made their money back off that.
No, actually, I don't even. What is the most profitable part of Activision Blizzard King right now? Because it's not even
King.
Candy Crush.
King.
King? It is. Oh, it is King.
Okay. It probably yeah. There's no. I'm pretty sure it's King.
Okay.
Because mobile games make money up the wazoo because everyone has phones. Everyone plays phone games. Phone games are dirt cheap to make.
Yep. And, Skinner box manipulation, like we saw in that South Park episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And people who play on mobile games aren't as sensitive to monetization as you and I are.
Yeah.
They're like,
in their eyes, it's like, $2 there, $3 there. Oh, on sale for 50 cents. Oh, damn. I can extend my like Candy Crush run for 50 cents instead of $1 this time. So, freemium gaming. I love me some premium gaming. So, yeah. Xbox is on fire, and they will continue to be on fire while sinking in the Atlantic, well, North Atlantic, in the Arctic, whatever. Wherever the Titanic sank, wherever that was.
While imploding. While being launched into space.
Yeah. Oh, and also being crushed. How did the Titan sub, was it a pressure collapse?
Yeah. Yeah. It imploded.
Yeah, that too.
It just imploded.
Yeah, it just imploded.
So I think it was made of like plastic.
Yeah, dude. And then it just went.
Immediately too. It just went.
Yeah, dude.
It was instant.
Honestly, thank God for that. Like that was a saving grace for the people in that sub, because that's an awful way to go.
Yeah, that is an awful way to go. Just like how it's awful that physical media is seemingly going, at least if you ask Sony.
If you ask Sony, yeah. Yes. If you ask Sony, they'll tell you, oh, hey, remember the whole ownership thing? Yeah, don't get used to that too much. Ubisoft had it right all along. Well, first, let's start from the beginning. On July 1st, on 2026, PlayStation announced in a blog post that starting in January 2028, production of physical discs will cease. They will end, and they will focus on digital moving forward. Quote, as consumer preference and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical discs to digital, physical game productions on all new games will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on the PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. The transition has no impact on games that are already released or will be releasing prior to the 2028 January date. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive to adapt to consumer trends, as the general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical discs, which they are correct. I think a study in the next article did say that for PlayStation 5 sales, digital does account for 80%, which is insane. But back to the blog post. So we will continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovation and how players can access games and provide choices, blah, blah, blah. Corporate speak will always be there for you, committed to delivering world-class game experience, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, naturally, the internet was on fucking fire. They absolutely despised this idea. And now, if you can go back to sorry, a little headache.
Okay.
No, you're good. Sorry, I just got like a random pain there. Like, oh, the brain pain from water.
It's okay, we're almost done.
No, I'm good. It was whatever. Anyway, so here in this article, it states that 80% of the game sales on PS5 currently are digital. So business-wise, it does make sense that why Sony is moving to digital only storefront. And they even confirmed, Sony even confirmed that it will be closing the PS3 and PlayStation Vita storefronts next month, and which is just another reminder that you will own nothing and be happy. And they're concerned about having a major ripple effect across the game industry, specifically with brick and mortar stores like GameStop that have always made they've always made their nut on physical sales, especially with what? Oh,
Can
what?
I hear that?
Yeah, good. Step Brothers reference. I thought you would get that, but that's not. But that's really how they've made their money, is through the physical, selling of physical discs, especially when it comes to used games. Because yeah, GameStop, them and their used games, bro. Yeah, we'll give you 2 cents for this. But that way of life is in danger. So people, people that have the tangible copies of the game, they always have felt some kind of ownership over it. And of course, the whole idea of companies keeping the servers online forever, which again circles back to the Stop Killing Games movement. We don't trust Sony to do such a thing. So, as you can see, there's a bunch of tweets, specifically this one from GOG.com. Even if a game vanishes from the GOG storefront, it never leaves your library, exactly as digital ownership ought to be. Yes, 100%. And of course, you have your Shinobi 602. So either Sony sells an optical disc drive for the PlayStation 6 or somehow allows you to transfer discs into digital on PlayStation 6. Lol, Lamau even. So I'll be keeping my PS5 plugged in, or these become nice coasters. Here, a little ad for Wolverine, which is funny because Insomniac actually put out their own tweet regarding the Wolverine. It says the physical version will include a disc in the box. So, the Wolverine game might be one of the last PlayStation games to feature a disc. Let's see here. They'll never take my Dragon's Lair to Time Warp laser disc. I don't even know what that is. The sales pitch. Oh yeah, digital.
Who cares? They won't take it.
Yeah, no, they won't take a shit. This one was my favorite one because, well, this infamous man. It's like, oh, fortunately, we have a product for people who still want to play games on disc. It's called the PlayStation 5, which amazing callback. God, bro, amazing callback, and it really just shows you how full circle this whole thing has become.
Yeah, I mean, it really shows that the Xbox One wasn't shat on because they were trying to digital ownership. They were getting shat on because they pulled the trigger too soon.
Exactly, bro.
This was always the game plan. This was always the end game.
This was always
for
the end
all
game.
of them. This is always the end game.
For you to own nothing, we will allow you. We will allow you to essentially it's a glorified rent scheme, and we will take it away from you on a moment's notice because we feel like it. So yeah, so there's more. Oh yeah, you wouldn't own a game. Like,
you wouldn't download a car. You wouldn't own a game.
And now, bro, man, people. Let's just say that piracy is looking very, very nice for a lot of people nowadays. Not that we would advocate for it. It's
or
awful.
PC gaming.
Yeah, or PC gaming.
Because at this point, like, if you're gonna go all digital, you might as well go on PC because at least you'll have your choice of storefronts.
Exactly.
You'll have GOG, you'll have itch.io, you'll have Steam, and plus you'll have all the individual storefronts for the individual companies like Ubisoft or EA.
Nah. I mean,
but at least choice is there.
Yeah, the choice is there, even though there's way better ones. Oh my god, what a mess. But anyway, so yeah, and this one here, PlayStation in 2026, play has limits. Scroll all the way down.
Play has limits.
Play has limits. So it's pretty insane, and it kind of sucks too because there was a little thing that it mentioned in the article about how Sony is going all digital, which means that it will completely rely on licensing instead of you owning physical copies of the game or the movie that you purchase, for that matter. And that's a problem that they're experiencing in the UK right now. So Sony recently informed its its PlayStation customers in the United Kingdom, they can no longer watch movies purchased from a company called Studio Canal, which is a production and distribution company that does movies and shows. And as of September 1st, affected customers will no longer be able to stream 551 titles from the PlayStation Store, and Sony will actually remove any affected titles from their users' PlayStation library in the UK, which is insane because the PlayStation Store doesn't just offer games; it offers movie titles and even shows. Kind of like the same thing in Amazon Prime, where you can actually buy shows, buy seasons of shows and have them downloaded onto your iPad for offline use. But with Sony, because of the deal falling through with Studio Canal, they actually will lose what's called content licensing agreements. And so they will not be allowed to offer that movie through their PlayStation service. So they have to essentially remove it from your library after you've paid for it already, which is insane to me. It's absolutely, it's crazy. And I'm gonna bring up another example later because I think we actually covered this something similar a while back as a result. And it does say though that it's possible that Sony may still strike a deal with Studio Canal by September 1st. However, the article says that they shouldn't keep your hopes up, as Sony already pulled 314 Studio Canal titles from libraries in Germany and Austria in 2022. There's also a similar thing that happened in 2023 when Sony said that it would have to pull, quote, 1,318 seasons of Discovery shows from customers' libraries. Thankfully, they reached a deal with Discovery after updating their licensing agreement, so they were able to keep the shows. But still, that is the future that awaits us. The ownership-less future, which is a pretty scary thought.
Yeah. Just because some company didn't like the deal that some other company had that you have nothing to do with, you cannot watch the movie that you purchased.
Exactly. Oh, it's so freaking frustrating to go into your library. Imagine a company coming into your house and taking, something that you bought and paid for.
I'm gonna put it in some America terms. All right, imagine you buy a Glock at a gun shop, and then the gun shop loses their license to sell guns. So they come to your house and go like, "All right, buddy. So I lost my license to sell guns. So I don't need that Glock back."
And you're like, that's really not my fucking problem.
Yeah, exactly. Right. For some reason, though, that logic does not apply to digital assets or products.
Which
we're just at the whims of whatever license deals these companies manage to pull.
Or whatever they fucking feel like. If Sony decides one day, you know what? I don't like Studio Canal. This guy cheated on my wife. So I'm going to just delete everything from this company. Deals be damned. And then customers have all of their paid for movie content removed. And we just and our response is eat shit. Eat shit and die.
Well, that's a little bit of a extreme, but I get the idea. I don't think I've ever heard of a case of that, but yeah,
I'm sure it'll happen. We're essentially at the mercy of these corporate politics, which is kind of goes back to the old days of like kings and nobles and royalty, like having a spat over the way some dude looked at some guy's wife, or having a pissing contest, and then they end up getting into a war. That is extreme, but the principle is the same. We're at the whims of these people, and we're just here trying to watch TV or just trying to play games, and then we get the shit removed from our libraries because, or even if it was a legitimate reason. Like, again, it has nothing to do with us. We have no stake in that. So, in Canada, they actually there's a Canadian retailer, P&P Games, which I believe stands for print and play. I actually looked it up to see what it actually stands for, but it seems P&P is actually a gamer term, meaning print and play.
Okay, I know that.
I didn't know that either. But the thing is, it gave me the acronym for the actual, for the term and not for the name of the company. So I'm going to just assume it means print and play, but if that's not the case, I am very sorry, Canada. In any case, so on the same day that Sony announced the physical media death knell, PMP, the Canadian games retailer, actually put out a petition essentially protesting Sony and their decision to kill game discs. And you can see it here. And on there, and in their mission statement, it says here, signed to tell Sony to keep the space games alive beyond 2028 so the next generation can own the games they play and not just rent them. If we do not speak up now, the disc disappears and the choice goes with it. Since then, it has garnered 220,000 signatures. And the CEO of PNP Games, Jade Pierce, spoke about it in an interview. Quote, physical games support an entire industry in an all-digital future quietly erases retailers, distributors, manufacturers, warehousing, and logistics, the pre-owned and traded market, and the collector and preservation community, which is something that, you know, we actually hold near and dear to our hearts. That is thousands of jobs and countless small businesses ending. Ending physical media removes consumer choice, weakens local economies, and hands a few platform holders total control over how and whether you can access the games that you buy. And he did go on to clarify that he is not against digital. They are just against digital being the only option. A large and passionate community still wants a real physical game they own outright, and Sony is about to take that choice away. And he even goes on to say that physical games are still strong for us, and our retro and collector categories are actually growing. But that is exactly the point, that the demand is still clearly there. The longer term concern isn't just us, it's the whole ecosystem physical media supports, such as the aforementioned distributors and manufacturers, the used games market, and the thousands of jobs with it. Excuse me. This isn't physical media dying on its own. It's being taken away while it's still wanted, and that's what we're pushing back on. We are strong supporters of physical media, and we'll be here backing it for as long as it exists. So, and then he goes on to say as well that, you know, they're over 230 now, and it's one of the most significant petitions that we've had in recent memory, and it helps confirm the belief that people are indeed with this game. So I don't know if you have to be a Canadian citizen to sign this petition.
You do not. I signed it myself, and it is currently at 314,000 signatures. It's on change.org, which is a public website. It's not any issue.
Yeah, perfect. So get out there and make your voice heard. Let them know that we indeed want physical discs. Which it's pretty cool. Honestly, I'm pretty happy that that they put that together, because this is really the only way that we can enact change. And we've seen it with the Stop Killing Games movement, that there is real, you know, we can enact actual change, you know, starting with the petitions, because then it grows into a movement, especially now, because this is one of the things that is actually unifying the internet, kind of like how Stop Killing Games unified a bunch of people across all different fronts. It looks like this will work to the same effect, because the backlash against Sony for this decision to kill physical media is, well, it's huge. It's pretty big, to the fact where, you know, I mean, we've seen that Domino's tweet. Everybody everybody is dunking on PlayStation's decisions to end physical discs. Yeah, so if you haven't already, we'll put the link in the description of the video so that you can go and sign it. Now, on to the next story. So Sony is actually ignoring said backlash and just kind of carrying on as business as usual. On July 7th, they actually put out an ad for the Flex Strike wireless fight stick, which I'm assuming is a pad for fighting games, right, Jesse? It looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which honestly looks pretty cool. But of course, with if you won't address us directly, We will take the war into the comment sections. That is the internet way. And oh damn, Mighty Keith with some very choice words that I cannot repeat
Yes.
due to my melanin, due to my melanin count. But
my
look,
melanin deficiency.
my
I am too melanin deficient to say that word.
Yeah, I'm too melanin deficient to say that word. And we have Domino's Pizza UK. That's did somebody order a digital pizza? Oh my god, it's great. It's amazing. Oh my god, they even have Holland as well. England, Norway. Damn, bro. Domino's Pizza UK is killing it right now.
Yeah,
Chocolate
they have been. I can't find the tweet. I mean, I have saved there, I think, but
yeah, yeah. But anyway,
they've been
so
beefing with Sony.
Yeah. Dude, everyone is beefing with Sony, but of course Sony is ignoring it, assuming that it'll all go away. We'll just keep advertising some stuff, but the comment section, of course, is always where the fun is. So, yeah, make your voice heard. Just relax, be careful, don't do anything that's against the terms of service, please. But make your voice heard that we're not a fan. Yep, see, no disc, no deal. Hell yeah. So they're trying.
Wait, I'm sorry, interrupt. A holy ratio, dude. Look at this.
Dude, look at that.
2.7K likes, 6.3K comments with 849,000 views.
The comments, I want to see it. Oh, there it is. I anticipate.
Your inevitable backtracking.
I love that. No disc, no buy. Fuck Sony. Yup. I love the Wolverine picture. So for you guys that don't know, that there is the ad that PlayStation put out after Xbox's infamous, well,
the Xbox One reveal. It's so ironic because everyone was dunking on Xbox One for trying to release a digital only like console, or like a console that required online connection.
Yeah.
So it could digitally verify everything, essentially digital DRM. And then Sony released that infamous.
It used to be, and now it's infamous for a completely different reason.
And now the infamous trailer where they said, "Here's how you share games on PlayStation 4." Right? Because there was that whole like on Xbox, it was like, oh, you can't share your games, you have to like digitally share it or whatever. And then when the PS4 was being revealed at E3, they were like, oh, here's how you share on PlayStation 4. Thanks.
Which was an amazing burn, but now it's come back to bite them in the ass. And so that's the reference to the picture, and that's why Wolverine misses it. And honestly, we're all Wolverine. So, in the midst of ignoring the backlash, there's some stuff that Sony will not be allowed to ignore, or at the very least cannot afford to ignore. So, there's a bunch of countries that are actually taking to the courts to actually investigate Sony to see what the hell is going on. And we're starting with this story with the Dutch Consumer Group, which is, please forgive me, Stichting Massachad and Consument, which I will be referring to them as SMNC, believes that the recent decision by Sony actually provides ammo for its current case that they're building and make it even stronger, arguing that going digital only actually makes Sony into a continued monopoly, because they argue that Sony in the PlayStation Store actually has the 30% charge rate for any games placed on its storefront, which essentially makes it not competitive. Excuse me. So in a excuse me, I'm losing my words. In a statement from the SMNC chair, Lucia Melchertz, she says, quote, "The end of physical discs removes the last place where a PlayStation game could still be bought and sold at a competitive price. No discs means no secondhand market and no alternative to the PlayStation Store. So, from 2028 onward, Sony alone will decide what a game costs and even how long you are allowed to use it." And damn, that is crazy work. That's actually, that's a pretty harsh reality to paint. And that is exactly the harm our fair PlayStation claim is about. A price can never be fair when the buyer is left with no ownership and no alternative. And the article actually makes a comparison to Epic's Apple Store challenges and the antitrust laws that are currently facing Steam, which was brought by a different Dutch consumer group. Apple sells hardware and maintains its own storefront, which closely mirrors that of Sony, and was ultimately forced to relinquish some control of the ecosystem. And they do try to make some connection to Valve. However, in Valve's case, it is a little bit different because Valve doesn't actually own the computers themselves that Steam runs on.
No, it's just a storefront.
Now,
That's it.
yeah, exactly. It's a storefront. They can be accessed by any computer of any kind, from Potato to NASA Center. So,
Well, I think the idea is that you can access different storefronts. If you don't like Steam, you can go to GOG. You don't like GOG, you go to itch.io.
exactly. Well, yeah. Well, but not only that. But what I'm saying is, Steam can be accessed from multiple different computers. It's not like you can only access the PlayStation Store from a PlayStation, or you can only access the Apple Store from an Apple iPhone. With Steam, it's pretty open ecosystem. Yes, they offer their own machines that can offer you access to Steam, but anybody with a computer can access it, even Apple computers. So, because I know they were trying to compare it to the way that Sony and Apple ran things, but in Steam's case, it is different. So it's a lot harder to make the monopoly claims, which we've covered multiple times. But I'm sure we'll get updates on the Steam cases. But anyway, so and that's in the Netherlands. In Mexico, Mexican lawmakers are actually planning on filing antitrust complaints against PlayStation and Sony over their PlayStation Store following the potential end of physical games. So so it is revealed that Mexican lawmakers will file a formal complaint with the country's antitrust authorities, requesting an investigation into whether Sony's decision could constitute as anti-competitive behavior. Now, in an official statement from Federal Representative Reyes and Senator Luis Donaldo Colosio, will file the complaint before Mexico's National Antitrust Commission, asking the agency to investigate Sony Interactive Entertainment for alleged anti-competitive practices related to video game sales. Quote, if the disc disappears, anyone who owns a PlayStation will no longer be able to choose where to buy their games and will be forced to purchase them exclusively through the Sony store. And it should be noted that this person right here, Irais Reyes, is considered the gamer representative, and she's is it she or he?
We don't know. Irais, I think, is a dude's name.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
Anyway.
That's just a computer generic.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Sorry.
Doesn't say
No, because
anything.
they showed a woman here, but I didn't know if that was her. But anyway, but he's the gamer. This person is the gamer's representative, and actually is one of the most vocal opponents of the proposed 8% tax on digital platforms introduced by Claudia Sheinbaum's administration in 2025, arguing that eliminating physical games would leave PlayStation Store as the only place where PlayStation users can purchase new games. Now, there are two examples that they cite as a result that helps the case that they're making for antitrust. So first, does reference an issue kind of similar to the UK situation where Sony removed purchased content from European users in 2022. It also points to the company's more recent announcement as well that more than 500 movies and TV shows would be revoked, which is similar to what we just covered in the UK. Also, they talk about how eliminating physical games would effectively destroy the markets for resale lending and collecting physical copies, like we've discussed previously. And as a result, Sony would become the sole price setter for games sold on PlayStation, obviously. And second, the complaint argues that game developers would also be placed at a disadvantage. Without a physical retail channel, publishers and studios would become entirely dependent on the PlayStation's digital infrastructure, subject to platform commissions and any commercial terms Sony chooses to impose in order to reach players. And also, let's not forget that Sony was digging around with the idea of dynamic pricing, which is very scary.
Yes, we remember
So,
talked about that a while back.
Yes, and now it seems that it's a part of the plan. We would have Sony with no physical games, all digital, through one storefront that they control, and they can set the price as they see fit based on weather change or how some dude is feeling, and so on and so forth. So pretty concerning context, I would say. I guess that's the best thing. That's the best way to say it. So honestly, it's pretty crazy. So according to the lawmakers, this conduct could constitute a relative monopolistic practice under Mexico's federal economic competition law by increasing costs, restricting competitions, and denying access to an essential market infrastructure and reducing developers' profit margins. This lawsuit is essentially just filed, or this complaint. So we'll have to keep tabs on this and see how it goes. Same thing with the Dutch Commission, and we'll also see how the petition goes and see if there's any other updates. Maybe the PR backlash will be so bad that they'll be forced to make some kind of change, or at the very least, just tell everyone, "Nah, fuck all you people. Like this is the plan, and you're not going to change shit." So, any thoughts on the?
It's funny you say that, because I don't think I included this article here that I found about how Sony is unlikely to change its course, at least not anytime soon.
Okay. So actually, yeah, I did have that article, but it wanted me to enable ads, and I was like, "Fuck you!" And so the article also told me, "Okay, fuck you too," and then didn't let me open.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So if you want, you could talk a little bit about this article.
I mean, the TLDR is like they're unlikely to change it anytime soon, because the factories that they use to make their CDs has already started changing their production line, and this the production facility is located in Thalgau. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But apparently, those they're already preparing to transition to manufacture other things, and those other things would be things like optical micro lenses, which are used in products that require highly precise light control, or vehicle lighting systems as well. So, I mean, it seems like Sony has been planning this for a long time, and their factories have already been transitioning in coordination with this. So, I mean, if there is a change, it won't be anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. No, they're really giving the vibe that this is going to be the way it is for Sony. So, I mean, well, we have solutions. Ones we don't advocate for, because piracy is wrong.
Of course.
But yeah.
We would never advocate for that, but it is a solution for some.
Yes.
PC gaming, like I said, is great.
Yeah, PC gaming is great.
You might as well just hop on at this point.
The market is kind of ass right now because of the AI apocalypse and everything. But it is definitely an investment that's worth it in the long run.
Yeah, because if we're going all digital, like I said, we might as well go on the platform, at least pick which digital we go with, which digital store we go with. Yeah, because I actually looked it up that so God of War Ragnarok, I don't know if it's still the same now, it might have changed, but the price for God of War Ragnarok was I think it was like $50 or $60 at Best Buy, like just slashed, like it wasn't even a discount, and then with discount it was like $26. You want to know how much it costs in the PlayStation Store?
70.
70.
Okay.
Yeah, the PS5 version.
Yeah. Why? Because fuck you. That's why.
Fuck you. That's why.
Discount? Honestly, they're going the way of Nintendo. No discounts.
Yeah, no discounts. Or maybe I'll give you 10%.
No.
And then maybe like during Christmas, maybe I'll give you like 20.
It's like, oh, hey, what the hell? I thought you said it was 10% off. No. I said 10 cents off. 10 cents. Not percent, 10 cents off. It's like, you bitch. You could take a dime off of that. Keep the change.
Yeah, well,
well, the future does appear bleak, however, also bright, because things are happening, like things that we don't like, and we're channeling it to make some kind of change. We're doing petitions. We have a lot of tweets from like prominent people, and I know we laugh at dominoes, but people people are making their voices heard. I think ever since Stop Killing Games kind of took off, we've felt as gamers, we felt empowered to, make our voices heard to the point where now even, governments are taking notice on it. So I like this direction that we're going in. Now, as far as Sony, I mean, I think it's a bad decision business wise. Like, yeah, I get it. Like 80% of the sales are digital, but a company as greedy as them, they're going to take the wrong lessons from this, and they're going to try to just gouge their customers for every penny that they've got. And yeah, you always have like the 10-20% of your customer base that are your whales that'll pay whatever price you put in front of them, but eventually you will bleed them dry of money, and then you'll have nothing left. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And that 80% is skewed because like that also includes any games that don't get physical releases. So like indie games or like AA
yeah,
games, right? That gets included in
yeah.
there as well.
Actually, you're right. I didn't even think about that because some games don't release on physical. Like it's all digital. So in reality, they should account. I mean, it's kind of tedious, but you get the accurate number. They should make it to where, okay, what percentage of games where
You know they're
they
not
had
gonna
the
do that, dude.
choice
They're gonna do the thing that makes
we sh- no,
their.
we should.
Oh yeah,
We should.
I mean we don't
We
have
should
those.
no, no,
I don't know if
because
we can.
I'm genuinely curious. Because after all, if you're a digital only, but you're right. If you're a digital only purchaser, chances are you have a PC. Like it makes no sense because you buy a console that well as
Well,
of
I
right
meant
now
on console. Like on
does it.
console, that 80% figure also factors in indie games, which might not have never had a physical release at all, or like AA
Yeah,
games and such that like never had a physical release at all.
no, no, I understand that, which is why I think in reality what we should do is we should only factor in games that release digital and also had the option for disc, because then you'll get the true number of,
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, when players have the choice between digital purchase and a physical copy of the game, which would they choose? And I think that number would inform us better,
Yeah, but
as
even
to
then, the choice should still be there.
yeah, absolutely. Numbers be damned. The choice should always be there. You're absolutely correct.
All right, man. It's getting pretty late, and I think this episode's pretty damn long.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, my bad. We kind of went on a rant because, dude, a lot of stuff happened.
This
Like, yeah,
necessitates, yeah. This was a lot to cover.
yeah, it was a lot to cover. And to be fair, we knew this would happen. we
Yeah.
knew this would be we knew that we knew this would be the behemoth. But I'll sign us out. I'll sign us out. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode of the Two Bar Connection. We really appreciate you guys watching the episode. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a like down below, and also leave a comment if there's any games you want us to play or any new stories you want us to cover. You can the best way to watch us is here on YouTube, but you could also watch us on or listen to us through audio only versions of the podcast, which are available on Apple Podcasts, Amazon
Amazon
Music,
Music,
yeah,
You
and
forget it
Spotify.
now?
Sorry, no, excuse me. It's late. Amazon Music and Spotify. You can find us on Twitter. No, we will not call it X. And you can, hey, see, I got that part right. And you can find us at our Twitter handle at Two Bar Podcast. So hey, tag us in some memes. Send us some funny Domino's tweets, and we'll have a good time on there.
All right, so thank you guys again for watching. Thank you for listening. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Peace.
Bye, everybody.